This is Desmond Nkosi once more. Welcome to Relating Relationships, where we are addicted to good conversations. Today I am again once more with my wife, Nkosi. We're just gonna just have a conversation with you guys, allow you guys to listen in and just partake as well. We love the comments that we are getting. We love and appreciate the communication that we are getting. People are sending us messages to say how this is helping, how we can improve on certain things. We really appreciate that, and we're asking that please carry on doing that. Whatever it is that you agree with, let us know. What you don't agree with, let us know. We're really doing this so that we can help each other. So yes, to my wonderful wife, Tero Uncles, how are you doing?
I'm dark and lovely, I'm good, and all is well.
Dark and lovely.
Of course.
Oh, my daughter. Mandekai. Guys, so how have you been? What are you up to? What's happening?
Once again, my heart's desire is to impact lives, is to see somebody's life change in whatever way. The gifts that are within me, the gifts that are within us, just to send them out there, just to help somebody like what you are doing, my lovely host and lovely husband, to impact lives, just to speak to somebody's life. I believe, like you were saying, with the comments that we are getting, it's really heartwarming just to see that there is just that somebody, the calls that we are getting out of this channel as well, just to know that somebody is being helped, somebody is relating to what we are saying, and it's changing their lives. It's really a beautiful feeling, and I believe that's what we are all called for. Each and every one of us has got a ministry that is connected to people, that you can help people in one way or the other, and we are so grateful to the Almighty God to have given us this channel just to say, let's connect and relate to people out there.
I like that. Let's connect and relate to people out there.
Yeah.
This is what it's about. And like I've said before, these are conversations that we have with our loved ones, people that we know, that we always wish that other people can hear them because they've helped us, right?
That's true.
So yeah, so we've had quite a few guests, and I think we had a lot of feedback from the fathering sessions, the fatherless session, the fathering and fathering with intention. And this is it's beautiful because that's what we're trying to do, is to make people aware of the relating part of relationships, that every relationship is dependent on the relating part of it. When you understand the relating part of it, then it makes the relationship even better.
Yeah.
Right? And that doesn't stop us from having issues in our relationships, things that hurt us, things that make us hold back, And I just wanted to go to today, can we have a conversation? And this conversation is coming from one of the sessions that we had when we were doing counseling. And you asked the couple what was it that they were holding on to that is not benefiting them. And it's interesting that people would always talk about external things, that I'm holding on to this and that's not benefiting you. And we're saying, okay, what is it that's also internal that you are holding on to that's not benefiting you?
Sure.
So that's what we want to talk about that today. We've looked at quite a few. We've done just a few of our researches to find out what kind of things that people would be holding on to that doesn't benefit them. What do you have to say about that?
Sure. Like you're mentioning the episodes that we already had, and I believe our viewers have seen that. The big question, what is it that you're holding on to that does not serve you anymore, that does not benefit you anymore? Like we have looked around, we have checked from other authors and other people on that topic, The one that actually stood up for me is old heads. And why am I bringing that? Even with the episode that you had with other guests on the program about fathering, about fatherlessness, you know, there are other things that came out that happened in their pasts, those guests. So it is sometimes very easy to hold on to those heads that happened when I was 5 years old, when I was 10 years old, 15 and so forth. And today you are in your 40s, you're 40 years old, and you're still holding on to the heads that happened, and mainly maybe speaking about fatherlessness, you know. And it's just easy to say, because my father was not there, that is the reason I am here. And you keep running with that. But the big question is, yes, it has happened in your life, but is it benefiting you now? Is it worth it to keep holding on it? Is it worth it to keep it as a burden in your life? You know, yeah, so I think on that question, something that I would love us to touch on is old heads. And I want to believe people are going through different heads. That is part of our lives, actually. One way or the other, you might have been hurt either by your parents, by your siblings, by your partner, by your spouse, by your children. But the big question becomes, whatever hurt it is it still, or is it benefiting you? Is it worth holding on to? Is it possible that I can say, I am bringing this to a stop and I want to progress and proceed with my life and go on with my life and let go? Because on heads, the challenge is letting go. You know, the greatest challenge becomes to let go. Can I let go of that hurt that happened when I was 10 years old, through my mother, through my aunt, through my uncle, right? And one thing that I have realized, not going too much into details, it's that those things delay the progress of our lives. And sometimes we sit in the comfort of the hurts, the comfort of the pain, and maybe it might be even questionable. How am I becoming comfortable in my pain? But if my pain is going to be a reason to say to people I am like this because of that, then it becomes a comfortable place. Because I would say that I am like this because this is what had happened to me. I can't progress with life because this is what has happened to me. For me, you're becoming comfortable about the pain. But the truth is, at some point of your life, you need to let go of whatever hurt you've suffered. You need to let go of whatever pain you've suffered. Yes, maybe with the help or the aid of programs that can be set in your life. But what I'm saying is the bottom line. There is a time to let go so that you proceed with your life.
What do you say to somebody who says, no, but you don't understand what they did to me?
Okay. Of course, I would not understand. It has not happened to me.
Okay.
You understand the depth of it. Hence, I said, in going forth with your life, it's not about just this program and listening to me to say, let go. It might be with the aid of other programs in your life. Programs like counseling, programs like therapy, you know, psychological programs that you can go through with. Nobody understands anybody's pain as long as they have not been through that. Right now, somebody whose mom passed away when she was giving birth to that person, I would not understand your pain. when you grow up and you're told the story and that brings pain in your life. If my mother raised me until I was a big girl, of course I would not understand that pain. Somebody whose husband passed on, I would not understand that pain because I'm sitting next to my husband. Somebody who lost a child, I would not understand that pain. But I can also sit back and say, you don't understand my pain. Right? What I'm saying is that there should be a point where you let go. Because that very same thing can be something that derails your life, that delays your life. My encouragement and my plea to everybody out there is just to say, if all of us can open our book and say, look at my pain, you will understand. Or maybe we will all understand that somebody, somewhere, has gone through pain. If not all of us have gone through a certain type of pain. But because of looking on your pain or into your pain, you'd think, I am the worst. But the truth is, you're not the worst. There was a time I looked at this program. This beloved was speaking about, I was going through my own pain. And when I looked at that woman, I can't remember the name of the program, and she was saying her husband left the house with their child, their only child, to go buy bread around the corner, and they never came back. And I was in pain for her and trying to put myself in her shoes to say that, how do you even step forward with such a pain? As she was sitting there waiting for her husband and her child to come back, at the door it was a knock from the police and asking, are you Mrs. So-and-so? We are here to tell you that your husband and your child were in an accident around the corner and they're both dead. And that woman was explaining how she had to move forward with her life. She had to get to a point where she realized life has not stopped for her. And she had to let go of that pain at some point. Of course, it doesn't just become a miracle. You are not a steel, you're a human being. You are an emotional being who will go through emotions in this life. But there's a point with the aid of people around you, with the aid of professionals around you, where you can go through and pass that pain. Now we're talking about old hurts, old pain. Now you are 20 years into this life. You are that woman who lost. 20 years later, you are still suffering this pain. What is it doing to you as a person?
Sure. Yeah, well, I just asked, I didn't realize you'll go this deep into this. But I think the key things that you said that stood out for me is that there is a time where you have to let go, right? You spoke about that, and we're saying understanding your pain or not understanding is one thing, but one thing that we know and understand is at one point you're going to have to let go, because you said, Hore, it becomes a burden, right? Like you're speaking about this woman to say she realized that life has not waited for her. Life has not stopped to cater for her, to say, you know what, let's wait for you to recover. Let's wait for you to get your strength back. Life carried on. And if you hold on to that hurt 20 years later, and you're still holding on to the pain that happened 20 years ago, the question you're asking is, how is it benefiting you? Right? I met somebody was telling me, like was introducing me to, it was a friend of mine introducing me to the girlfriend at the time. And when we were talking, the lady said, I had made a decision. She was talking about stuff that happened in her life. And she said, I have made a decision that I'll never be hurt ever again. I will never be hurt ever again. Right? And she's talking about a hurt that happened with the first boyfriend that she had. She's probably having another, maybe relationships have carried on in her life. And she's still holding on to what happened with the first boyfriend. That all the relationship that she has, she's carrying this thing with, I will never allow anyone to ever hurt me. And I remember saying to my friend to say, man, if she says that, you are not safe. Because you are a representative to her now of what can possibly hurt her. And not to say much, but that relationship didn't end well.
Sure.
Right? And she made sure that she was not going to be hurt. But she made sure that the partner gets hurt when she moved back, when she moved out. So, and these are all the things that we do. We hold on to these things, and we can argue about who did this to me. You don't understand the pain and stuff. But what we're saying is it benefiting you now? Is it benefiting you in your relationships that you have? Is it benefiting you in your marriage, if you're married? Is it benefiting you at work? Is it benefiting you now, wherever you are? Right? So, and I think it's a big and it's a deep question, especially the old hurts one. What is it that you are holding on to that has hurt you? I also know somebody who was holding on to the death of the father. And when I had the strength to ask her, ultimately she said, you know, I feel like if I don't hold on, then that means I'm letting go of my father. That means I didn't love him enough to hold on to him. But the question was, is it benefiting you now?
Sure.
It's a deep thing. We just didn't realize how deep this can be.
Yeah.
But it's a deep thing. Whatever it is, again, guys, please send us your comments. Tell us what you think. We would like to know, what are the same things that you are holding on to? Is it really benefiting you? Are relationships breaking around you? You know, we talk about, one of the counseling that we do is marriage counseling. All right? We do premarital counseling as well. And you find that somebody wants to come into this relationship with the heads of the past relationship. And not realizing that now you are in a relationship that can be good for you, that can be healthy for you. But if you don't let go of the past head, you become the problem in that same relationship. And you find people dating 3 or 4 people later in their marriage, in their relationships, and their relationships always end the same. And are we going to say, if it's a guy, are we going to say all the 3 ladies that you dated before were the problem? Whereby the only common denominator here is you.
Sure.
And that's one thing. It's in all these things, whatever is happening in your life, if you are the common denominator all the time, there's something that you're holding on to that you need to let go.
Yeah. That is just so true. Yeah, I think this is actually even deeper than I thought. And I'm just listening to you, babes, when you talk about the boyfriend and girlfriend relationships. Somebody saying, this shall never happen to me ever again. But the truth is, when you go to the next relationship, you become unfair to the next person because of the burden that you're carrying, because of the hurt that you're carrying.
You're holding on to.
You are holding on to. It becomes unfair to the next person. You don't even give that relationship a chance, because every little thing that happens becomes a trigger because of the burden that you are carrying, because of the hurt that you're carrying. That it is very important to me, it becomes very important to say, when you have gone through hurts, make sure you deal with them. And you don't have to prolong the process. Deal with them so that they do not become barriers for you going forth. Because once you have that kind of thinking, that thought pattern, you are likely to create barriers for yourself. You are likely to put things that are stumbling blocks. They become stumbling blocks in the sense that I'm meeting this new person, but because of where I come from, this is what had happened. Whatever that is, you bring it to this next relationship. You're not becoming fair to this new person. You are not fair to yourself.
To yourself
as well.
yes.
You know?
Yeah.
You're not even fair to yourself. Let go of everything. Life is such a beautiful experience. We need to explore it. But this hurts hold us back. This pain holds us back. But the truth is it possible that you look for help? There are people that even go to a point of saying, nobody can help me with this one. But if you're having that kind of mentality and thought pattern, who are you imprisoning?
Oh my word.
Who are you imprisoning? If you're saying nobody will ever even help me through this. The truth is, God has created us to be beings that should solve problems.
Oh my word.
That should solve challenges. Whatever comes in my life, I should get to a point where I see my capabilities. I should get to a point where I'm excited actually to say, wow, God, you entrusted me with such. I'm going to come out victorious.
Excited, babes?
Yeah. I know it's a big one. How do I get excited in pain?
Yes, because when you say excited about it, in my head I'm like, do you even understand what pain is?
Yeah.
So what is it? What should happen in my mind to say I'm excited about it? Doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, right? I get your point. Now, I am talking from this angle.
Okay.
When something comes to me, comes to my circle, comes to my space, what I'm saying is that God saw it fit. God saw that I have the capability to solve it. I have the capability to go through it.
Okay.
Do I perceive it?
Do I perceive the fact that I've got a capability?
Yes. Because everything that happens in our lives, it's how do I see it?
Oh yes.
That's why there can be somebody, like the example that I was giving about that beloved lady who lost a husband and a child in an accident. How she perceived. That's what made her to come back to realize there is still more to life.
Because somebody can go through the same thing
Yes.
and not come out of it.
Exactly. So the excitement, did I use the right word? Maybe I did, maybe not. But the excitement is in understanding that, Konje, I have all that it takes to come out of the situation. Now that means I need to connect to whatever source that will empower me to realize and wake up to that call that I can come out of the situation. That's why there can be somebody that stands and say, I was looking at this other beloved who was interviewed not long ago, probably in the last week, to say that I was raped twice. But I had to sit back and say that does not define me. Where do you connect? Where do you plug yourself to understand that I can come out of this? Now, all these people, things that happens around us, when I sit back, what do I tell myself? It's either I tell myself I can come out of this, It's either I tell myself, no, this is the end of the world. And whatever and however I perceive, that's what will happen. That is what will happen, however I perceive it. That's why we can go through the same thing. And our end product is not the same. Yes. And people go like, no, but when now we try to, then for the one that was victorious, we come up with excuses. Why he or she was victorious.
And if you celebrate the one who's victorious, the ones that are not victorious will think, they feel like you don't understand their pain.
Yes. That is where maybe that comes from, to say that you don't understand. You don't understand.
You said something that's interesting. You said life is for us to live it and explore. And these things are part of life.
Yes.
Right? And I want to get back to what you said, Uti. It's a perception of how you view the things that have happened in your life. That's why you find somebody who goes through exactly the same thing, and it doesn't affect them the same way that it affects the next person. A lot can be, we can talk about other stuff that somebody can say, no, but we are not the same as people. We go through emotions differently and all that stuff. But the thing is, and I'm bringing this to this point that you just said, the thing is, whatever you're saying, I don't want to use the word excuse, whatever you are holding on to, the question that you asked, which was also important, is who are you imprisoning? So what is it, now I'm going to change that question, is what is it that you are holding on to that's imprisoning you?
Yep, relevant.
Because the truth of the matter is, if the 5 relationships that I've gone through have ended the same way, the problem cannot be the 5 relationships. What is it that you are doing that is imprisoned you? Because those people that you had relationships with, when they move on to the next relationship and everything goes well, right? And then you're the person who now sits without a relationship. Who is feeling the pain now of that being imprisoned? And I think this is one thing that we just want to bring across, Kuti. Whatever it is, you might sit there again and say, I understand, they don't know. It doesn't look like they've gone through pain. We've gone through our own pain, and maybe in the future we will share our own pain as well. But the thing is, whatever it is, somebody is imprisoned. And who is that person that is imprisoned?
Yeah.
Holding on to our old hurts and unforgiveness, that's part of it as well, right? I spoke to somebody and I said, the problem with it is, if I am sitting with you, babes, and we are okay, and the person that has hurt me comes into our presence, usually it's not the person that hurt me that changes. I'm the one who's going to change. I'm the one who's going to have to walk away. I'm going to have to give up my space, my joy, my peace with you for this person or this thing or this event that has happened, that has hurt me, that now I'm holding on to. So who is in prison here? Who's the one that now has to stop having fun, joy, peace and happiness and move so that somebody else or something else can occupy the place that was giving him joy and peace? So let us have these conversations, right? Wherever you are, where you live, where, like you say, when you live life and exploring that life, let's have the conversations driving to school with your children. Let's have these conversations in our churches, in our meetings, yabo mama, yabo baba. Let's have these conversations with our relatives, our friends, our loved ones, in marriages. Let's have these conversations so that we can get to a point where we free ourselves from this imprisonment that can come with just what happens in life. So guys, thank you so much for joining us. We would like to hear more from you guys. This again is Nkosi and we are saying we are addicted to good conversations. Thank you.